Hey guys, Scarra here, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about AD carries in general. Now, recently, in the last couple weeks, months, whatever, you see a lot of AD carries being like, "Man, I hate my role. My role is terrible. My role sucks." So let's go all the way back in season 2, where AD carry was probably the most important role next to mid lane. I think if you had a good AD carry, all the best teams in season 2 won because their AD carries were super good. It got to the point where you could literally just carry games if you had a better AD carry than the other team. Mirror that with right now, where AD carry is supposedly one of the weaker roles in the game. How did they get from there to here? Well, part of the reason is because for the most part, this game is a zero-sum game. So let's say that each role should have about 20% of the impact on the game. So collectively, about 100%. But before, supports, especially in Season 2, were super, super weak. And to be honest, really, really gold starved. Riot just gave supports a lot more freedom in gaining a lot more gold income in general, and just generally became a stronger role overall. What this did is they took away from the importance of the AD carry, especially in the bot lane. Riot did such a good job at being able to create support to become a more impactful role that unfortunately a lot of the ability for the bot lane to impact the rest of the map, a lot of it took away from the AD's carry potential because supports became so much stronger by themselves. So AD took kind of a backseat role, or maybe an equal role from when before it was extremely AD sided, so to speak. Now another thing, and probably the most important thing, is that TP got changed. Before, top lane used to be a balance of everyone taking Ignite, and then maybe some people would take TP for pressure. But nowadays, Riot made it so that everyone top lane essentially has to take TP. And one of the biggest things was that they made it so that TP cooldown gets lowered when you TP the tower. Now, there should be a trade-off. So if you want to kill the lane, pressure the lane, or if you want to sacrifice your laning summoner for the rest of the map, you could take Ignite, or alternatively, you could take TP. But that's not how it goes. What happens right now is people take Ignite, or people don't take Ignite, because what ends up happening is that TP, it can just be used for the lane as well. You either do a camp or double jungle and go to the lane with 5 pots. And regardless how much better their offensive summoner is, it's extremely hard to be able to have it offset the amount of sustain that 5 additional pots will help you, and then 3 minutes later they'll also be able to impact the map a lot more. The biggest thing you worry about in solo queue is from bot lane is the jungle and the top lane TP. Let's say your top lane messes up, or not messes up, gets pressured, and he has to TP the lane. Well, then you have to play really, really safe, or else you get TP'd on by the top laner. I think that's really before it used to be that AD carry should be a role where everyone wants to go as aggressive as possible, but unless you're getting jungle camp. And let's say currently the mid lane meta has half the mid laners running TP, you can't really play as aggressive as you want, or as aggressive in any other lane, discounting the jungler, because you're getting constantly pressured by these global summoners. And to be quite honest, I think that at some point they should look to address that. Maybe nerfing the cooldown to towers isn't the thing. Maybe overall nerfing the cooldown is better, or maybe just changing it so that they can't, there's some sort of trade-off. But I feel like Riot thinks that it's a good idea for top laners to be able to have this kind of map impact rather than it being a lone island. But I think that comes at the expense of the other lanes in the game. So I don't necessarily think that the AD carry role is that weak, or the bot lane role is weak at all. A lot of times you're rewarded for not going aggressive, and I feel like that's not the way people want to play. You never hear someone's like, "Oh man, I just wanted to test my limits by playing really passive this game." I want bot lanes to take over the map. If you snowball bot lane, I want you to be able to impact the map a lot. But a lot of times what teams are doing is they're looking to pressure top lane so that and then using the TP effectively. And I think that's I just think there should be an equivalent trade-off, so to speak. AD carry is notoriously a role that scales with gold rather than levels. A lot of times in solo lanes you want champions that scale with levels and gold, but mainly levels, so that when they hit level 6 first, they can impact the map super well. So you have Karthus, you have Victor, you have Ori, something with game-changing utility ultis or with a lot of damage. Whereas if you look at the AD carries, a lot of times they don't have this kind of utility. What instead they have is raw steroids, and being able to scale extremely well with 80% attack speed steroids, high auto resets, crits, long range, good attack speed scaling, stuff like that, to be able to scale really well with 2 to 3 items, which is typically what ends up happening. However, because of that situation, if you fall behind in the AD carry role and you don't have this kind of utility, you're kind of locked into being able to farm because you can't really group up because you don't have the team fight utility to be able to take team fights when you're behind outside of outnumbering people. So I think that's where kind of the frustration comes in, where it's not only that you're being like pressured by top lane TP, but also if they TP on you and you fall behind, you feel like your impact on the game is almost nothing up until you farm up to those items. And a lot of times, by the time you get to 2 items, it's already too late, or it feels very, very frustrating to just try to stall to that point and hope that it's going to be okay. And a lot of times, you being able to wait that long for that type of impact is just what makes it a little bit frustrating for me, at least, playing the AD carry role. Now, I know I went off on a really big tangent, but I hope you guys at least enjoyed the talk, and I'll see you guys later.